For a second, a lush, completely untamed landscape in ancient Tamil Nadu. The air is thick, the forests are incredibly dense. And then, suddenly, a massive tiger steps right out of the shadows and straight into human history. Well, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to take a highly cinematic, realistic journey back in time. We're tracking a real-life, 10-kilometer chase that didn't just end with a captured beast. No, it literally and permanently changed the geography and the very names of the places it touched.
So it really makes you wonder, right? Can a single wandering animal leave a mark so profound that it actually outlasts written history? Because, in a lot of cultures, history isn't just locked away in dusty old books or carved into stone tablets. It's literally breathed into the land itself through oral tradition. And today, we're exploring this absolutely remarkable story. It wasn't preserved by academics or historians, but by village elders, specifically through the vivid memories passed down by a man named Mr. A. Puli-Vendran to his grandson. It is a story of fear, survival, and the profound way our ancestors recorded their greatest tales right there in the soil.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to trace this literal 10-kilometer journey of a majestic and frankly terrifying creature. The whole chase kicks off deep in the west at Katupuli, moves right through the central lakes of Pulickanmoi, pushes eastward through a little settlement called Valionpati, and then finally reaches its dramatic conclusion at Puliatitham. It's essentially a geographical timeline of a really high-stakes chase. Section 1. Emergence of the Forest Tiger. The 10-kilometer journey begins. Every great chase has an inciting incident, right? Well, for this region, the story kicks off about 10 kilometers west of the main village, out in a wild frontier the locals named Kadupuli. Let's break that down for a second. In Tamil, Kadu means dense forest, and Puli means tiger. So the villagers weren't trying to be poetic here. They were being incredibly accurate. They literally named this specific area after the exact moment this beast emerged from the dense, untamed woods. It wasn't just a generic location anymore, It became the birthplace of a legend. Just imagine being an ancient villager and seeing this apex predator step right out of the dense green canopy. The name Kadupuli captures that initial jolt of terror and awe perfectly.
Section 2. The chase across the lakes. Following the beast. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. As the tiger leaves the safety of the deep forest, it actually enters human settlements. So naturally, the villagers' awe very quickly shifts into a primal need to protect their families, and they start tracking the beast. This whole landscape basically becomes a living storyboard. They track the tiger through 3 distinct lake areas, naming each single one exactly after the tiger's evasive maneuvers. First, at Pulickanmoi, the tiger is actually spotted at the lake. Then, the chase flushes the animal right out into the open, bare land. So that spot becomes Potel Pulickanmoi, meaning open land tiger lake. Panicked, the tiger then dashes for cover, hiding deep within the massive sprawling roots of these ancient trees. And forever after, that place is known as Ver Pulickanmoi, or Root Tiger Lake. The villagers literally mapped the tiger's tactical retreat right into the names of their water sources. Absolutely fascinating.
Let's take a closer look at the main village's namesake, Pulickanmoi. Puli meaning tiger, and Kanmai meaning lake. So it translates super simply to the lake where the tiger was seen. Think about that. A single, fleeting moment of terror and wonder, maybe the tiger just paused for a quick drink while being hunted, was so impactful that it was forever etched into the very identity of the village. Entire generations would grow up saying they are from the Lake of the Tiger.
Section 3. The net and the end. Desperate measures in Valionpati. As this chase stretches on and on, exhaustion really starts setting in for both the hunters and the hunted. Realizing they absolutely need a trap, the villagers take desperate measures further along the eastern path at this small, cattle-rearing settlement. The people here lay down heavy traps, which gives us the name Valionpati. Valai means catching net, and Pati refers to a small settlement or village. But the tiger, with its incredible agility and sheer survival instinct, it miraculously evades the nets. It slips right through their grasp, leaving absolutely nothing behind but a story of its cunning escape, a story permanently locked into the name Valionpati.
Section 4. Puliatitham. The 10-kilometer chase ends. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the final destination. After 10 grueling kilometers of tracking, evasion, open sprints, hiding in roots, and dodging nets, the chase finally comes to a halt. The etymology of this final location reveals the ultimate tragic climax of our whole story, Puliatithamam. Puli for tiger, Adi meaning to beat or strike down, and Thamam referring to a small water body or Orani. 10 kilometers east of where it was first spotted, right near a small pool of water, the exhausted beast was finally surrounded and struck down. The physical chase concludes right here, but honestly, its memory was really just beginning. Section 5, Land as a Living Memory, Beyond Written History. This brings us to a really crucial anthropological realization, one that completely changes how we view history and our environment. As the author beautifully notes, a village's history is not only in its buildings, it lives in its soil, its water, the memories of its people, and the stories they preserve. Our ancestors didn't always need ink and paper, They had this profound, completely symbiotic relationship with nature. They used the rivers, the lakes, and the trees as their archives. They essentially turned their own geography into a living museum of their greatest experiences.
And here's the thing. This incredible wealth of cultural history only survives because of oral tradition. We really have to credit the local elders of Pulickanmoi, and specifically Mr. A. Pilavendran, the grandfather of the author, who recorded all of this. By simply sitting down and telling a story to his grandson, he safeguarded a 1,000-year-old map. It just proves that human memory, when it's passed down with care and respect, can be every bit as durable as stone.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to ponder today. If our ancestors were so deeply connected to their environment that they recorded their greatest tales in the land itself, what memories are we leaving in the world around us? How are we honoring the spaces we inhabit right now? And what stories will the geography of tomorrow tell about us today? It's really something to think about.
Section 6, A Blessed Week Ahead, Closing Prayers and Gratitude. We're going to leave you with this beautiful closing thought from the author who shared this rich oral history with the world. May we honor the memories of our ancestors. Wishing you a happy and blessed week ahead. Prayers and blessings. That was written by Father Arul Prakasam Rudiaraj, SVD, from Riverside, California, America. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through today's explainer. As you go about your week, maybe ask yourself, what stories are you leaving in the land? Keep exploring, keep remembering, and seriously have a wonderful, absolutely blessed week ahead.